Greetings. This is Know Your Rights University YouTube channel. We are very excited to have you, our listening audience, join us today. We at Know Your Rights University, our vision is to create a world where every individual is empowered with the knowledge to defend and uphold their God-given unalienable rights, to be the leading source of accessible education on these rights, making for a society where no one is left unaware of their fundamental rights and freedoms, to create an informed society where the principles of justice, freedom, and equality are universally understood and respected, to educate, engage, and inspire individuals to take action in defending their God given rights through accurate, informative, and compelling video content, to provide clear, reliable, and unbiased information on constitutional and unalienable rights, helping viewers navigate through the many traps that have been laid before them. For it is written in the Bible in the King James Version in Hosea 4 and 6, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge." And in Isaiah 5 and 13, "Therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst." So, we would like to begin with a document that we hope will be informative and educational to you in discussing how important the knowledge of learning about this word called trust. You know, I've heard of trust, or you have heard of trust, private trust, where you use it to protect your assets. Maybe a car, maybe a home, or something of that sort, some other personal property. But that's not particularly the type of trust that we would like to discuss with you today. We would like to discuss with you the public trust, because I think many of us should be informed of and have the knowledge of that whenever you are or I am dealing with a public official, judge, police officer, or some sort of public employee, there is certain standards that they have to abide by in dealing with you as an individual or a member of society. And so it is from this premise that we would like to discuss and share this document with you. So as you can see, my screen is shared to a document called "A Judge as a Public Official as a Fiduciary Toward the Public." Public office and officer defined. A public office is the right, authority, and duty created and conferred by law by which, for a given period, either fixed by law or enduring at the pleasure of the creating power, an individual is invested with some portion of the sovereign functions of the government to be exercised by him for the benefit of the public. The individual so invested is a public officer. An office, says Blackstone, is a right to exercise a public or private employment, and to take the fees and emoluments thereunto belonging. An office is a special trust or charge created by competent authority. If not merely honorary, certain duties will be connected with it, the performance of which will be the consideration for its being conferred upon a particular individual, who for a time will be the officer. In the case of Alden versus Borough of Roseland, it was said a public office is a public trust. Borough councilmen, as fiduciaries and trustees of the public interest, must serve that interest with the highest fidelity. The law tolerates no mingling of self-interest. It demands exclusive loyalty. The theory is that a public officer assumes the same fiduciary relationship towards the citizens of his community as a trustee bears towards his cestui trust. They have the right to expect that in everything that appertains to their business or welfare, he will exercise his best judgment, unaffected and undiluted by anything which might inure to his own interest as an individual. Fiduciary. The term is derived from the Roman law and means a person holding the character of a trustee or a character analogous to that of a trustee in respect to the trust and confidence involved in it and the scrupulous good faith and candor which it requires. A person having duty created by his undertaking to act primarily for another's benefit in matters connected with such undertaking. As an adjective, it means of the nature of a trust, having characteristics of a trust, analogous to a trust, relating to or founded upon a trust or confidence. A person or institution who manages money or property for another and who must exercise a standard of care in such management activity imposed by law or contract. Example, executor of estate, receiver in bankruptcy, trustee. A trustee, for example, possesses a fiduciary responsibility to the beneficiaries of the trust to follow the terms of the trust and the requirements of applicable state law. A breach of fiduciary responsibility would make the trustee liable to the beneficiaries for any damage caused by such breach. A judge acts as a fiduciary towards the public, the litigants who appear before him, and if he deliberately conceals material information from them, he is guilty of fraud. Public officials are expected to adhere to the highest standards of ethical conduct. If a judge is busy soliciting loan or seeking or self-seeking to gain a pecuniary interest while executing his official duties, he is guilty of a breach of his fiduciary duty of fidelity to the public trust for which he is charged. A judge, while adjudicating a case between adverse parties, cannot at the same time receive any pecuniary benefit from one party to the litigation without violating public confidence and trust in the judiciary. To say that judges hold the public's interest in trust is more than just mere rhetoric or analogy. The people are their real beneficiaries, and judges should conform their conduct to fiduciary standards. The Public Officers Prohibited Activities Act states, no person holding any office, either by election or appointment under the laws or constitution of this state, may be in any manner financially interested directly in his own name or indirectly in the name of any other person, association, trust, or corporation, in any contract or the performance of any work in the making or letting of which such officer may be called upon to act or vote. No such officer may represent, either as agent or otherwise, any person, association, trust, or corporation with respect to any application or bid for any contract or work in regard to which such officer may be called upon to vote. Nor may any such officer take or receive or offer to take or receive, either directly or indirectly, any money or other thing of value as a gift or bribe or means of influencing his vote or action in his official character. Contracts made in violation of the Illinois Conflict of Interest statutes are void. A public officer who violates a conflict of interest statute is guilty of a Class 4 felony, which is punishable by up to 3 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000. In addition, the officer is removed from public office. Section 3.1-55-10A of the Illinois Municipal Code. A municipal officer shall not be financially interested directly in the officer's own name or indirectly in the name of any other person, association, trust, or corporation in any contract, work, or business of the municipality, or in the sale of any article whenever the expense, price, or consideration of the contract, work, business, or sale is paid either from the treasury or by an assessment levied by statute or ordinance. A municipal officer shall not be interested directly or indirectly in the purchase of any property that belongs to the municipality, is sold for taxes or assessments, or is sold by virtue of legal process at the suit of the municipality. Section 4-8-6A of the Municipal Code, which applies to the commission form of government, similarly prohibits elected or appointed officers and employees from having an interest in contracts with the municipality they serve. The legislative intent in enacting these statutes was to codify sweeping prohibitions against public officials and officers engaging in conduct which divides their loyalty between their personal interests and their fiduciary duties. Common law conflict of interest. The conflict of interest statutes reflect long-standing common law doctrine that the faithful performance of official duties is best secured if governmental officers, like any other persons holding fiduciary positions, are not called upon to make decisions that could result in a personal advantage or disadvantage to their individual interests. Common law conflicts of interest may exist even in circumstances that do not violate the Illinois conflict of law statutes. In Breshears, the law at issue serves a substantial state interest in enhancing the efficiency of the workforce and prevents against actual as well as the appearance of impropriety. In Wright versus D'Armand, holding that conflict of interest statutes addresses a problem of compelling importance to a state's capacity to govern justly, preventing political corruption or the appearance of corruption. A judgment is a contract of the highest nature known to the law, and actions upon judgment are actions upon contract. A judgment for damages estimated in money is sometimes called by text writers a specialty or contract of record because it establishes a legal obligation to pay the amount recovered, and by a fiction of law, a promise to pay is implied where such legal obligation exists. It is on this principle that an action ex contractu will lie upon a judgment. At this point, we would like to stop the video, and we hope that in this short video, we have given you some information that is informative and at the same time educational. And we look forward to our next video and going deeper into the trust aspects of a public office and our need to understand the relationship between the public trust and the people who are citizens, maybe of that public trust, or even private citizens who have the right to stand on their constitutionally protected rights and not have their rights infringed on by corrupt public officials and officers, and to know that as we stand, we demand that our rights be respected and that public officers stay in their domain and not try to infringe upon our constitutionally protected rights at no time. And if they do, we look forward to, in the future, sharing with you possible remedies that may be available in the event that you are injured by such public officials and officers who violate your rights. Thank you. Know Your Rights University, signing off. Peace.